Hello everyone. I have decided to go over this essay that a student has written in order to go over specific parts of a argumentative essay for you. This is the same document that I have created earlier with comments, the little virtual sticky notes. If you notice here, you could read these if you want to. I know that some learners learn better by reading, and then other learners learn better by hearing. So I've decided to go ahead and make this both. You can read it on your own, or you can watch the video in order to listen as you go through it. The first thing I want you to notice is the title. Notice that all of the words, the major words, are capitalized. Next, the writer gave a overview or background information about what the paper will be about, because he knew his audience may not be familiar with the scholarship that is offered at his college. Then he comes here and he gives his thesis statement, which will drive or lead us for the rest of the paper. Let's now move to the first paragraph of this essay. If you notice, he is going to start with argumentative using the deductive reasoning. I have here in the virtual note that he has started with the topic sentence, which I like. I like stated topic sentences because it makes it easier for the reader to follow, and I think it helps set you, the author, helps you set up a good plan of action on how to really support, and then this paragraph will be strong. And here he uses deductive reasoning. If you take a look, he is going to start with many people, which is the topic of the topic sentence, and then what's the controlling idea? Well, many people would agree racism is evil. Here he's starting with a deductive reasoning, which means he starts with a general premise or the assumption, and then he proceeds to a specific conclusion. If you've read over the chapter and watched the PowerPoint that I put together, you would know that this is truly deductive reasoning. Next, he goes on and he uses some support here. He used support in order to give more weight or strength to his paper. And notice that according to one expert, here he's introducing, remember the acronym ICE, I for introduce, C to cite, and then E to explain the citation in your own words. If you notice, there is no citation here, but if you've read the essay example in the book, you will realize that when he did submit this paper, he did include the actual author and page number like a true MLA citation should be, but that he just didn't do it here for this example. Okay, next he goes to his next paragraph, and instead of using deductive, he's going to use inductive reasoning. So he starts with the school itself must share some blame in this case. If you look over here, he starts from the individual observation, or what he observes going on in his college campus, and then he supports it by giving the evidence. So it's kind of the opposite of the deductive reasoning. Again, he has a beautiful topic sentence, stated topic sentence. Let's continue down. Next he gives a specific example to support the topic sentence that he blames the school for part of this. And what he says here is that the school's financial aid office was not telling people that this scholarship was only for white students. Therefore, he feels as though the school took part in trying to cover up this racism, trying to cover up the fact that this scholarship was only for white students. So he thinks that the school is partly to blame for this. And I think he has great support here, and he is supporting or defending his point of view, his thesis statement. So in this paragraph, again, he supports his side of the argument, his viewpoint. Then the next paragraph is called the refutation or the refuting of the paper. Here you're going to give the other side. What will the other side say about your point of view? It sounds odd to bring up evidence that could hurt your case, but however, this does actually help your case because the reader will know that you're not afraid of the other side's viewpoints and you're willing to talk about them. It makes your essay more well balanced. Also, it's okay if your opposing or the opposite viewpoint has a fact or a support that you cannot defend. Just say, you know, I understand that they have a good point here, however, my point is this. So it doesn't make your paper weaker to bring up the other side, it actually helps it. Here he says this argument, although attractive, is flawed. Here he's giving the other side positive. It is attractive, it looks good on paper, but it's flawed. And then he goes on to dispute or to refute the other side's viewpoint. Here, again, he does the other. He's devoting another paragraph to refuting the other side, the other viewpoint, the people who would be against his thesis statement. Next, I'm going to jump down to the conclusion. Here, I have bolded that he is restating his thesis statement, but in other words, in order to remind the reader of what his point of view was on this scholarship issue. That's good to do, especially if you're writing an essay, because there's more material to read. This way the reader knows, again, what the thesis statement is because you've said it to them in different words in the conclusion. I also liked this conclusion because I think he threw in logic and I also played in our emotions. I think the two of them together helps make this a better argument for to support his viewpoint. So this was an overview of a student essay for argumentative, the mode of writing of argumentative essays. I hope this helps. Remember, always try to bring in the other side's viewpoints because it will make your paper stronger. When you're writing your essays for me, if you want to use this as a model, go ahead. Okay, I hope this helps. Again, you can toggle or hover over my virtual sticky notes to read this document. You can also print it off. This is the video, but I also have the document on this week's module. Okay, everyone, I hope this helps. Thank you. Bye.